Welcome to Country Kickback, where you'll hear the latest music from performers you already know and discover new music and artists from around the world. If you have an artist you'd like us to chat with, reach out to the team at countrykickback.com, or you can watch our live videos and more by following us on social media and YouTube. Here is your host, Danni Shaw, with the latest from Country Kickback.
Hello, we're back again, and if you notice I'm slowly going down again, I have put it up, but it's just, swallowing me up, this chair tonight. Hi Shazza, I can see there. Hi Kaz. I can see lots of you popping in from different platforms, so say hi, let us know where you are and what music you're really into at the moment and listening to all the time. I love hearing everybody's different songs. I told you before we've got a few changes coming up, and we've sort of been growing and moving in different directions, and that's why things are starting to change with the different cameras, the different lighting, the different things that we're doing, and you're probably going to notice that we're out and about at different events a lot at the moment, and we're trying to cover more for you guys and get across things here in Australia and sort of overseas as well. We're trying to really work on bringing more stuff to you. So we do have a few things happening at the moment. We've got the Snapchat, which is sort of a behind the scenes bit of fun where we can just talk, and you'll see that my life doesn't always go easy to plan, but you can get plenty of laughs out of it, and that's the main thing. We have all the platforms that you can imagine and more coming up. We're talking about doing some sponsorship with different companies and working with a few different things to sort of give you guys more options to see what we're doing. So if there's things you think that you'd like to see us at and what see us do, send me an email, send me a message, or let one of the team know, so that we can sort of add that to our plan and what we're going to do. We do have a little QR code now, which I'm trying to work out how to get onto the screen so you guys can scan that, and that will take you to all the different things that we're doing at the time. Scott's amazing, and he's really smart, and he did all this for us. So thank you so much for that, and thank you to the people that were, all of you, actually nearly all our team was in Queensland this weekend and did a great job with all the lives, so thank you. We have got Brendan sitting very patiently down in the room. I'm really excited to talk to him because we just worked out it's been a good couple of years since we had him on the show, and he's got a whole album for us to talk about, so we might welcome him into the room. Hello.
G'day, Danni. How you going?
I'm good. I'm sinking. I'm sorry. My chair is breaking. I'm very much telling you it's time for a diet.
Well, I'm sitting in a bedroom in a place that I don't live at, so I've made a makeshift studio myself.
You just borrowed somebody's bedroom? Do you know who it was?
Yeah, just some random. I just drove past, beat the horn. Do you mind if I come in and record a live interview? I said, yeah, cool,
in your bedroom.
Would you like a beer? I said, yeah, sure.
Sure. Nothing creepy at all about that. Can I just use your bedroom to record a live video? By the way, my name's Brendan. Thank you. Very trusting. It has been ages since we got to talk, and I don't know how that time has gone so quick, but sounds like you've been a little bit busy in the last 2 years writing and recording, but what else have you been up to?
Well, not much. I live in Victoria, so we were locked up.
Oh, you're in Victoria, aren't you? Yes.
Yeah. So,
you're very familiar with your house.
I was sneaking out when there weren't lockdowns on and recording this album or parts of it, and then recording at home. But yeah, look, not a lot on the live side until this year, and starting to get out and do a bit of live stuff again. But yeah, spending a lot of time just finessing the album and getting it ready to send out. So that's pretty much what's happened over the last couple of years.
How have you found that process different to before COVID? Because as you said, you're trying to sneak in and out through lockdowns and doing stuff at home. Is that the way that you would have done it before, doing stuff at home, or would you have done it all in the studio and all in one hit? How have you found that difference?
Look, I find what works best for me is I book a studio day every week for the period that I'm recording the album.
Yes.
And what that does for me is gives me a chance to, once we've spent a day in the studio, have the next 6 days to have a think about where I want the songs to go and what I want to add to them, whether it be instrumentation or a vocal line or backing vocals, whatever, or which sound that the song needs to go in. So that's what's worked for me. The difficulty in COVID period was I had to learn or had to upskill. I think like a lot of people, upskill to be able to record in my own home studio, and then just send files electronically to the studio I record in, so that we keep moving on the album. So that's probably the major difference. A lot more of this album was recorded in my home studio. I did most of my vocals in my home studio, did all of my acoustic guitars, banjos, mandolins, electric guitars in my own studio, and then took the files or sent the files to Soggy Dog Studios where I record. So that was the major change.
It is a big difference, isn't it? And I think a lot of artists have had to do that. They've had to go down that process, but it's a lot of money and a lot of work to set up a studio at home to get that sound right, isn't it? You've really got to think about what works and the right equipment.
You do. And what I did early is when I'd settled into Soggy Dog recording studios, I bought the same software. It's called Cubase. So I thought, if I'm going to record some stuff at home, and I enjoy doing that because you can be more experimental when you're at home, whereas when you're in the studio, you feel a little bit pressed for time, and you also feel a little bit under pressure to perform at your peak first go. Whereas when you're in your home studio, you can make an idiot of yourself and nobody cares. They don't see you, they can't hear. And sometimes out of doing that and just experimenting, you come up with some really cool stuff. But you're right, there is a cost involved. So you have to invest a little bit of money to be able to produce the quality that I now expect of my own recordings. But once that initial spend is gone, generally speaking, you don't have to spend a lot more money. So you take a hit to start with, and then you're okay for a while.
Yeah. And that's right. And if you get the right equipment, I think that was a really good idea, getting the same equipment as the studio, because that's not something that a lot of people would have thought to do. But yeah, it is such a great thing. But I think, and I guess the traditional way of doing it is always going to be the favorite, because it's what you've started doing and it's probably what you're comfortable with. But I think it's opened a lot of doors to allow more music to be recorded and make it a bit more viable for some artists that just were struggling to do it as often as before. I think it's a good medium that we found. We found a few ways that we can probably continue to do it and what works best, and different ideas.
Oh, I think so, because people are recording really high quality stuff at home now. And really, you need some good software, you need some good preamps, a couple of good mics, and a room that lends itself to recording, so you don't get all sorts of strange sounds on your recordings. Other than that, you just got to spend the time learning the craft of engineering, and that obviously is years and years and years of work and just dedication to figuring out how everything works. But people do it.
Practice and time. Absolutely.
Same with everything, isn't it? Practice, time and practice.
Exactly right. The same as everything. The only thing that I've got some really great equipment, and I could probably write an all right song, but I don't have the talent to go with it. That is the one thing you forgot to add to your list. You need a little bit of talent. Don't have that.
I'm still searching for that. I'm still searching for the talent.
I think you're closer to finding it than I am. We've got lots of people popping in today. Shazza has jumped in and said hi. She was first in the room tonight, so thanks, Shazza. It's great to see you. Kaz has popped in, and Kaz was we were talking to Kaz on the live a few minutes ago with Danni, and John as well has popped in. And I always like your profile picture when I click on your name, John. It always makes me smile. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Tell us where you are, what you're up to, and have you listened to Brendan's CD yet? It's a 12-track album. It's a lovely size. Tell us, you've released 2 videos already from this album. Do you have a favorite song at the moment on there, or are you really just enjoying getting out and playing all of them?
I'm gonna be a bit a bit out there and say my favorite song is Boodower Betty, and I know Kaz is not going to agree with me on that one. No, I'm just joking. The last track on the album was somewhat experimental, and it sort of came together in the studio as a song that we weren't even going to record, because it was just so unusual. And, you know, everybody that listened to the album, all the musicians that listened to the album say, I love the last track because it's so unique and so different. But look, I don't know. I've got skin in all of the songs, so I'm not sure whether I have a favourite. I think, you know, sometimes you feel like the upbeat ones are the ones that you really get into when I'm playing them, and sometimes it's the more meaningful sort of melodic songs. So it just ebbs and flows, you know, it just changes.
And I'm the same with music. I find it very hard to pick a favourite song. It does 100% depend on the mood, on the day. And you know what? The weather sometimes you want that upbeat. Sometimes you want something meaningful. And sometimes you just want to have something that you can get lost in and not think about and just let it just take you away and not even think about the meaning of it. And Kaz, what did she pop here? She said, you just shocked me, young person, with your favourite song. Now, I really liked both your film clips for this one, but out of the film clips, I think the favourite was the Gundry track film clip. It's very hard to pick, but it was such a beautiful spot that you were filming, and it looked fun and it looked easy, and you looked very happy doing it. Tell us about both of the clips and why they're the two songs that you have decided to release videos for.
Well, Gundry's track was just amazing. You know, I spoke to a guy called Duncan Toombs, who's a magnificent, not only magnificent musician, he's a magnificent filmmaker.
Yes.
And I'd only worked with him once before on a clip called Mother, which was last year. And I rang him and said, I want to do a clip for a Gundry's track. Here's what I want to do. And
you had your ideas, yes.
Yeah, it's a memory from youth. We used to make our own go-karts when I was a kid and race them down hills. You know, they were gravity-powered go-karts, so it meant they rolled down hills. They didn't have motors on them. Yeah. And I said, I want to recreate that. And I said, you know, I've got this vision of being up on a hill and having some young lads ride the go-karts down hills, etc. And he took that concept and took it to as good a place as I could have possibly hoped. You know, I made the go-karts out of...
you made them?
Oh, yeah, I made them. Yeah, and then he said, look, my son is 14 years old and he's got 3 really cool mates. And he said, why don't we use them in the film clip? I said, that would be fantastic. And I think the joy, I mean, you can see the joy on their faces. And I think... the thing that I got most out of the Gundry's track film clip is that those young lads had never ridden go-karts down hills before.
Hadn't they?
To see the absolute joy and fun. And you can tell when you look at the video that they're just having a ball. You can't fake that. They're all mates, they're really enjoying it. And that's what I got out of Gundry's track film clip, was like, this is recreated what I used to do as a kid.
Yes.
And it's just... amazing. Yeah, incredible. You know, only sometimes you get a song that you can actually recreate and really tick all the boxes when you do the video, and that is one. I really love what Duncan did on that one.
And he made it, like, you could tell in the film as it goes, it was a story about you being a child and doing all that, and the way it was filmed. You didn't necessarily need to listen to the lyrics to see that. It was just really well done, and the footage was but you're right, you can't fake that smile. No. But I mean, isn't it crazy, the thought that, you know, these boys have got to that age and they never never got to do that with all those sorts of things. Like, they've got so much technology now and so much different things that they don't have those old traditional things that we used to make to keep ourselves entertained, and they're still just as fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was great. And the Backroads clip was fantastic too, but very different. You know, it was a more mellow sort of feel to it, and we tried to capture, you know, driving along the road. You know, it was a song that I wrote from a memory of when I was in my early 20s. I was traveling to trade school once a week on a, I can't remember what day, but I'd leave my little hometown of Kapunda in South Australia at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd get down to Adelaide at about 6 o'clock, do 3 hours of trade school, and then drive home. And I'd always stop through, you know, get some fast food. And when I got to about halfway home to a place called Gawler, all the metro area was behind me. It was just open roads from that point home.
Yes.
And I remember one particular trip. I don't know why, but it was summer. I was driving home, radio on, and I just felt amazing. I just felt so comfortable and so at ease and at peace and happy on that trip home. And I've always remembered that trip and that feeling.
Yeah.
And I can only assume that, I remembered it because one day I was going to write Backroads. And that's the kind of feel we were trying to get in the film clip. So, just a peaceful, easy drive home.
Yes. I love those moments because they're where the best ideas come from. And yeah, those sorts of moments on the drive home when you're by yourself and just enjoying that moment as well.
Yeah.
So I should probably mention the title of your album, but it's, let me go again. The title of the album, As the Road Unfolds. Tell me, was that the reason that you released the Backroad video now? Because it sort of goes into to what the album is about. It opens that up. I'm getting tongue-tied tonight. I'm sorry. I just need to get those words out. I'm not getting them out the way I'm thinking them.
That's okay. Look,
I'm thirsty.
The title comes from Backroads. So As the Road Unfolds is a lyric line in Backroads. And I chose it because I find it really hard to find titles for albums that mean something.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Have you tried, is it deliberately tied in, or did you have it the other way around before the song was wrote? Yeah.
Well, I was always going to release Backroads with the album. That was going to be the last song I released with the album. The title came from there, but it's got a twofold meaning.
Yes.
Yes, it's out of Backroads. That's where I got the title from. But it also, As the Road Unfolds, is kind of like where I feel I'm at in the musical journey. So many things happen. I only started recording in 2014, and this is my sixth album. So first album came out in 2015 in March. So I've been fairly busy in the studio writing and recording. So it kind of lends itself to be a description of where I'm at on the road at the moment with my musical journey, and there's still lots more to come. As the road unfolds, you meet lots of people, you start writing with lots of people, you record all sorts of music, and you experiment with a few, Kaz, but,
yeah, what did you say? I love 99%. I don't know what song she's not quite into. No.
I know it.
Yes. Last one.
Yeah, so it's just, it's just a journey. Music is just a journey, and you're always on that journey, always trying to improve, always trying to experiment, always trying to get better at your craft and produce something that will, interest a whole wide range of people.
And as you're saying, this is album number 6, and that's pretty big in itself for such a short time. It shows how much you've been putting into this and how much you are obviously enjoying it. But from album number 1 to this album now, are you where you thought you'd be in this musical journey? Has it gone, obviously you had ideas at day one and to where you are, is it sort of gone down the path that you thought it would, or when you started something that you wasn't sure what you're aiming for?
No, absolutely not. When I went into the studio, I wrote the first song for my first solo album in December 2013 and popped it up on SoundCloud or something. I can't remember what now. I got a few positive, got a few likes, and I thought, oh, well, I'll keep writing, and I'll write a few songs. So my whole intent was to find a studio, go in with my acoustic guitar and record 6 songs with acoustic guitar and vocals. And that was all I was going to do.
Wow.
But yeah.
I'm just laughing at Kaz's. I'm sorry, as you're talking, I just read Kaz's comment. I was trying not to laugh. Gee, what did you? It will grow on you, Kaz. I promise. It will. I was trying to talk to you and listen and not laugh because I saw that comment come up.
Well, it's a song that genres are always interesting to me because people want to know what genre you are, and I never really knew what genre I was. I still really don't. And the song that Kaz is talking about, I call Junkyard Circus as a genre. and it came about through some quirky things, some quirky lines in the studio, and a bit of experimentation. And I've had people say it's their favourite song on the album. You'll have to have a listen to it, because it's not something you'd hear very often.
No, it's not, but it's got its own style. I like a mix, and I like it when I hear artists go and just do something like that randomly and give it a go. I think it's awesome. As Kaz said, she's on fire tonight. 94 kinds of country music too.
That's right.
There are so many kinds.
Well, there's 95 now.
I actually had that conversation yesterday with some people that I was discussing, future music plans and things that could happen. And that's what I said to them. I said, what you're listening to today and what you were listening to years ago, it's all country, and everything in between that is country too. There's so much in our genre. We're lucky.
Yeah. I believe now Black Sabbath is classed as country.
Really?
No, I made that up.
I was going to say, I've not heard that. How did that happen? I've not heard that. But anyway, the thing is, I think there's a bit of country in everything, but I think there's a bit of all genres in everything. You can listen to it and take so many different things, and I think that's what people are using it to class the genres now. And it doesn't matter. If you like it, enjoy it.
Exactly.
And give it a go. Give it a go like you have. I think I actually had a bit of a grin when I listened to that. And I did listen to your album from one right through. So I listened to it in the order that you put it together. And that was another question I had for you with this album. Did you take some time? Was there a plan in how you've set it out? Or did you have it all written and then did you write to tell a story in the album, or was it just all came together then?
No, I didn't write to tell a story, because the songs are a collection of songs over, some of them are 2 or 3 years old, 4 years old, and some of them I wrote this year.
Yeah, okay, yes.
So it just varies. But I do find it challenging to put the songs into an order that means something and flows. And I'll go through 10 or 15 different combinations of songs, the order they're in. And I'll listen to them for, probably 2 or 3 weeks to see what sort of gels and what flows. It is difficult. And look, there are some songs on there that are a little bit different to the majority of the songs. A song called Skin and Bone. It's a gritty blues song. Now, you've got to figure out where you fit a gritty blues song into a country music album.
Yes.
And then there's Ghost of Cusco, which is it's a story about an experience I had in Peru when I was standing in a hallway and a door opened behind me and there was nobody there. So that's a different feel too, because it's really only acoustic guitar and cello, and vocal and backing vocal. So it really is difficult, I find, to place the songs in an order that means something. So 100%. I put a lot of time into it. I love the ideas and hearing how people put those songs in order, and I don't envy them one bit, because it is such an important thing to get right. I knew that was going to happen. You've disappeared.
I have disappeared. Hang on. Settings. I'm back. Sorry.
Right.
I don't know. I think the camera went flat, even though it's plugged in.
There was a light flashing.
Yeah, I don't know why it went flat, because it is actually plugged in. I'm now holding the screen of the computer, so I don't know. It's been a challenge changing these cameras over, and I've got a few things to learn. I'm not a photographer. But that's all right. So yeah, are you going to release more tracks as singles as you go, and are you going to take it out on the road? What are your plans for the album and the rest of the year?
Yeah, it's a good question. Am I going to release more singles? I probably will. But I've already released 6 songs prior to the release of the album, including Backroads. So I did it in reverse this time. I because of COVID and because we were locked down, because I couldn't get out and play the songs, I thought, well, I'll release anything that I think is single worthy.
Yeah.
Anything that I think is single worthy, I'll release, and then think about what I do after that. But I'm heading over to the USA in a few weeks and down to Austin in Texas and Phoenix. So I want to suss out the music scene there and see whether I can build some relationships there and get some opportunities over in the US. And Gympie
Don't leave us
for
for good. You're not allowed to leave us for good.
No. Well, I won't. Australia's my home. You want to live anywhere else anyway. But
exactly right.
It's just one of those things I wanted to do for a while, and now the doors are opening up.
Yeah.
So you want to spread your music around as far as you can.
You do, and I think as much as I love albums, I usually love the ones that people think aren't going to be singles. It's so funny how you often they're sort of the hidden gems, and it's great that you've released so many as singles as well. But it is what you have to do now, isn't it? You have to do a few more singles before you release that body of work, or it sort of doesn't get the mileage that it should.
No, it doesn't at all.
The other way now. And I mean, I get it. We have to move forward. We can't sit in, behind and not move. But I think we get music out to a lot more places than we used to because of that. But because people have much more access to it. But yeah, we have changed the way to release an album now. Yeah.
A lot of people aren't even releasing albums now. They're just releasing singles. And I don't like that idea, because like you, I like, the hidden gems you find on albums that you wouldn't necessarily hear if you didn't have the album.
Exactly.
Because there's generally only 3 or 4 singles released off an album. So it means you miss a whole lot of stuff. And
it does, yeah. And I mean, I know we can all play it, but it's great to hear those gems on the radio too, and that doesn't happen if they're not released as singles. So I guess it certainly it has its ups, it has its pros and cons releasing singles instead of albums. But that I like the story behind a body of work, and I like to hear how it's mixed. That sort of has a story of its own in its own way.
Definitely.
Kaz has put a comment as well. She said it's easier to review albums than singles, and you get the whole story. She said she's a librarian, and you're right, Kaz. There's definitely a hidden story, and I think it's different for those of us that don't just love music to hear a song. We love music for so many other reasons as well. Industry people,
yeah.
So you're heading to Texas. Are you coming back to do some shows down here? Have you got anything booked in Australia yet?
I haven't got anything booked. I'm going to head to Gympie. I might just do some ad hoc stuff at Gympie at the muster.
Yes.
And then
before you go, or after you?
No, after I get back. I get back about a day before Gympie muster. So
wow,
probably a bit jet lagged, but I'm going to head straight up to Gympie and see what happens up there. And then I'm starting to book for Tamworth next year already. And in the back end of this year, I'll be doing some gigs around Melbourne and whatever comes up. It's one of those things I've just got to work. You've got to work a little bit as an independent original music artist to get opportunities. I don't particularly want to go down the line of playing cover songs anymore, because I've got such an arsenal of my own original stuff. But
you don't have enough time to play all your originals, so you can't. You don't have time to throw a cover in there.
So it's a matter of finding the right venues and getting the opportunities for venues who support original music. So that can be a bit of a challenge at times.
Yeah, it can. But the ones that do, once you find them, they're the ones that you're going to keep going back to, because that's where people know. People are aware where to go if they want to hear new music. People get to know the venues, don't they? And it makes it more fun.
Yeah.
But so I can't believe you finally. It's strange to hear someone say, "I'm going to go out of the country." We haven't been hearing that very much lately, so it's nice to hear.
No, I know.
Oh, you might be able to knock on someone's door over there and see if you can do a live from their bedroom and on the other side of the world. It'd be great.
Why not? Why not?
Do one in each state. See wherever you go, just stop and see See if you can make it back to Australia, or if we're going to have to post bail.
Yeah,
I'll wait for the call. It's so lovely to hear from you again. I can't wait to see you come back or go. I'd like to come. I hope you do some lives from over there so we can see how it's going for you and
I should. Yeah,
great to see some of that. Are you going to try and have a look at some other festivals and stuff while you're there and enjoy it as well?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
anything I can see, anything I can get hold of, as long as there's music involved.
Exactly, music and food.
And the occasional beer.
Sorry?
And the occasional beer.
Oh, yes, yeah. But, I mean, we have pretty good beer in Australia, so it'd be hard to top it over there.
True.
But, yes, we would love to have a chat to you and see you again when you come back, when you're ready in Tamworth as well. Hopefully we'll be able to catch up because it's kind of coming really quick.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's crazy because, April to January is not a long time.
Yeah. Oh, before we do go, though, where can we get a copy of your album if we want to have a hard copy or a digital copy? I guess it's on all regular digital platforms, but
it's on all the platforms, iTunes if you want to purchase it, or the streaming platforms. My website, if you want to get a hard copy, brendanmcm.com. You can order it on the website and I'll just send it out. So for those people who are purists and like to have the hard copy with the booklet and all that sort of stuff.
So do it before you go. Do it before you head off.
Yes. I've got a few weeks before I head off, so yeah, that's okay.
And I have actually popped in the top of the comments, like I try to do when it lets me. Sometimes it has moments and won't let me post them. But I've put in the comments your YouTube page so that people can click on that, subscribe, and watch the 2 videos and any more that might pop up in there as well. But so make sure you head up there and press subscribe so that it will tell you. You don't have to go looking for it. It will tell you when something new is added. But yeah, it's great to see you out and about, and it's great to see you again. And hopefully we can have you on the show again before the end of the year.
Oh yeah, I look forward to it. Yep. Yes. No problems. I'll find another bedroom somewhere.
Lovely, yeah. I should start doing that, shouldn't I? Just start hopping houses and see how far I can get.
Yeah, I've just got a couple of signs I need to put up behind me and we're away.
Yeah, exactly. Easy. Kaz said that she'll see you in Melbourne.
All right. I look forward to it, Kaz.
All right. Thank you so much, friend. And thank you, everybody. We will be back one more time this week, and I'll even charge the battery. It was fully charged, but we've done 2 shows tonight, so maybe I haven't plugged the power cord in properly. I don't know. Anything could have happened. The cats have probably pulled it out. But we do have a show at 11 o'clock my time in Australia on Saturday morning. We've got Morgan Johnson in Nashville, so that's Friday night in Nashville at 8 p.m. their time. So if you press it's already up, so if you press the get a reminder, wherever you are in the world, it will actually just tell you your time. It won't confuse it with everywhere else, so it'll actually remind you in your own time. So thank you so much. We will see you all again on Saturday, and thank you, Brendan.
Thank you very much.
See you guys later.
Thank you for listening. We hope you've enjoyed today's program. See you next time with the latest with Country Kickback.